So today we're going to be installing a Subaru Impreza WRX STI spoiler to my Subaru Impreza WRX 2005 Blob Eye, and it's in carbon fibre to match with a carbon fibre Sebring bonnet and Sebring wing mirrors. What we're doing first is marking the bottom piece of the spoiler by using masking tape and drawing around where it needs to be, and then we'll mark holes of where we need to drill into the boot lid so it can hold the spoiler in place. And we'll tiger seal the bottom of the spoiler to sit on the boot lid so it bonds as well as being screwed in place. We've got a pinpoint on where we know it's definitely in the right place so it's level, and this is how it looks with no spoiler on so you can get an idea. We're now drawing on top of the screw, so when we place it down it will mark out where we need to drill through. So now we've drawn on the screws, we're getting the spoiler lined up, making sure the spoiler lines up to the pinpoints. So now you just press down once the spoiler's in place, so the pen will now mark onto the car. So now we know you need to drill there, and then it'll be the same on the rest of where it's marked. So now it's marked, we're going to drill through with a 4mm drill bit to start off with, and then we'll increase it upwards. But we want to make sure we start off with a smaller drill bit first, just so we don't mess it up by using too much of a bigger drill bit. Once you've done the 4mm, we're going to make our way up to 6.5mm. You drill from the inside first and make sure it's a nice flush finish before you do the outside. So now we've drilled the holes in, we're now going to try and line it up. So we're now getting the screw to line up with the hole we just drilled into the spoiler. Obviously the big hole that it's going through now isn't the drill bit that we made, that's already there on the car, but it's got the little hole in between that. Now we're screwing it on with a 10mm socket on the Phillips with a washer. So we screw it halfway in with the 10mm socket, just so the washer doesn't drop, and then we'll screw in the rest with the Phillips screwdriver. But we haven't got any black touch-up paint, so I haven't used white, but it's to stop the rust from happening from when we've cut the holes. So you just go around the edges where we drilled with the paint, so that way it can't rust. So we're now going to install the brake light. This is a clear one as well, which is nice. The original used to be red, but now clear. Let's pop it back in. And now we've got 5 screws put in these holes. That is the brake light now fitted, and it will look like that, nice and clean. It's better than red in my opinion. So now we need to drill a hole somewhere around about here so that the wire can thread through. We want to try and get it behind there somewhere so it's not interfering with the sound ending pads, so the wire can go through there and then come through there and then down. You want to paint around it and then silicone around it so it can't let water through. I'm going to tiger seal it. It shouldn't need that much on it because it is getting screwed on, but just to make sure no water can get in anywhere, we're going to put some on. Leave a little gap just where it lips down, just because water will travel down there, and then that way it'll have drainage so it can go down, so no water can get trapped under the spoiler. And this is what it looks like with the tiger seal on. Now I can get to installing it. We're now threading the wire through where we drilled the hole. We've put tiger seal on around it as well. wire's coming through here, so it's tiger sealed down, and now we're getting the screws in. But we're not tightening them all the way yet. Once all the screws are in, we can then screw the top piece of the spoiler on through here instead of putting it on before we install it. That way it's lighter and it makes it easier. Now taking the tape off because it's all lined up and it's no longer needed before we fully bolt it down. Now putting in the bump stocks for the boot, and that is the bottom piece installed of a spoiler, and then we can unwrap this one and get it screwed on the top. Kind of looks like a WRX spoiler if it was more rounded off at the top. Now you're just going to fully tighten the screws up. So now we're getting the 10mm bolt and screwing from the bottom of the spoiler to the top. So we're going to put the middle one in first just so it's tight and it's not going to move left or right from the edges. Then we're going to do the same on the other side. It is all held in place. Now we just need to put the other 2 bolts in at both sides and that's it. And then we can unveil the top. Now it's installed, we're going to unveil it. It's like being a kid on Christmas, this is. Now that the wire is threaded down, we need something to protect it. We're using a clear tube. It's a bit like a petrol pipe, it's just a transparent pipe, and then you just want to thread the wire through so it's protected. So it is now to the top, and then you will push the tube through. So we've done a little trick. So what we've done is we cut the end of the cable tie off, and we've got another cable tie, zipped it through, and then that little bit here that's tied up with the other cable tie will go in there and it will hold in place. So you spring it in like that, and then when you pull it through it pops in and it holds in place like that, rather than not being able to tuck it round, otherwise it'll just be hanging everywhere. That's just a little tip and trick for anyone if you want to do it the way I've done it. Thread the wire down. This is just a temporary thing. But now we've threaded the wire to go down. So it will look like this. And then it is threaded down into the rear light. And then it comes down onto the rear light's brake light. So we've wired it to that. Then we're going to put some insulation tape around it. And then we'll get the red wire wired to the white wire, which is the live wire. So the black's earth and then the red's live. And that's how we're going to do that. But don't forget, this is only temporary. We're going to get them soldered soon. Just strip the piece out of the live white wire. And you get your red. Create a little hole in between the copper wire so that the red wire can now go between. Then you're going to wrap it around. This will be soldered and shrink wrapped once it's done properly, but I need to get a solder as my other one is broke, so this is what we're doing temporary. And now it should work. So if you press the brake, you can tell that it's working with the actual rear lights. So that is what it should look like. And there you go, that is that done. That is how it will look once it's finished. And there you go, that is the Subaru WRX STI spoiler installed in carbon fibre. And I've been waiting for that to go on for so long. Obviously it looks a bit weird with the white tape up at the top. That will soon be off and it will look really nice, and I'm going to be changing the alloys very soon, so stay tuned for that. But there you go. Let me know what you lot think in the comments. Should I have kept the spoiler off, or how it is now? Because I do like how it is with the spoiler. I've missed having the STI spoiler on the back. There you go.